All right, we're gonna pretend like this is the first time we did this.
This is the first time we did this.
This is the first time. Like
Yeah,
for the
I don't
first
know why you would
time.
imply otherwise.
There's an 80s
Hi,
song.
internet. Hi, internet. My name is Todd, and this is the first time we're doing this tonight. So we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. Thanks for bearing with us. I hope we can get Bertez, and others back on the line here. We are playing a homebrew, which got turned into Descent into Avernus. We're on episode 38, guys. Episode
Nice.
30 freaking 8. So we've been telling this story for a little while. I'm excited. So we're just gonna keep on trucking with that. I did want to mention to anyone who has not joined us before that we are going to be taking audience suggestions. So if you wish me to torture these players in new and exciting ways, feel free.
They have to be
and
exciting ways, though.
well, I hope so. You know what? I don't want to judge an idea and shut down potential shenanigans. We'll just roll with whatever as best we can. We already revealed there were cursed magic items. We can't remake that magic. That is dead to us now. But you are welcome to suggest stuff in chat, and we will make it part of our game. Now, the other thing is that we do plot points, so that's how the audience gets to do it. But players do get plot points as well, so that I don't have to think of everything. I mean, come on. No, you guys easily own as much of this game as I do. In fact, I absolutely love when we have viewer suggestions and they take us into new places, new exciting things. All right, let's go around the table, meet everybody real quick, and find out a little piece about each character. I think we usually do like class and race. I think today we should do something like the character's favorite food or worst fear or something. What do you think? Just to mix it up a little. What do you think was the greatest Dungeons and Dragons level invention? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide how you want to introduce your character. Yeah, we'll probably do the standard thing as well, but just to mix it up some. I'm gonna turn it over to. Let's do it in reverse order this time. Carl, take it away, man.
All right, how's it going, folks? Name's Carl, and I am playing Faluri, the Aarakocra Shadow Monk. Man, favorite food. You know, fare. Yeah, well, you know what? Fare at the monastery is quite meager, and yes, you could say worms, but you know, would I really feed into the stereotype? I don't know.
That is between you and your Aarakocra.
But you know what? After spending, I don't know how much time we've been spending in hell, at this point, anything resembling real food would be welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The food here is just off. Even when it like looks great and it even smells great sometimes, and then you put it in your mouth and you're just like, oh god, yeah. And if even if you can choke it down, the repercussions on the way back out are just unpleasant. It's like Arby's, you know? You're like, this seemed like a good idea at the time, and now I am regretting it.
You know, it's never seemed like a good idea to me, so I've never done it.
Not surprisingly, we're not sponsored by anybody, but especially not Arby's. I don't think I've had Arby's since the 90s. I'm picking
up. I just remember seeing ads for Arby's and being like, why did they intentionally make it look terrible? I don't understand.
They just needed to hire a better photographer. Anyway, we're getting a little bit off track, just minutely off track here. So
a very important D&D discussion.
Let's keep going. You know what? Snacks are a huge part of D&D. That's probably the one thing I miss most about being around the table. Especially, shout out to sometime player, definitely previous GM that I've had, Brendan. Back in the day, he used to host, man. Oh, man. Oh, that was a spread. I missed that noise. So anyway, so we'll keep going around the horn here. Take it away, Gordon.
Hey, playing resident shadow sorcerer Fenris. He spent much of his life on the run, but he definitely likes steak.
There you go. When he can get it.
And he definitely likes the meat. And what I would say also is that even though he likes to stick to the shadows, he loves to hang out by a nice, cozy, warm fire.
Nice. Well, he
Yeah,
often lights cozy warm fires on the faces of his enemies. So
he
that
does
stands
that
to
too.
reason.
Yes.
And I always love to shout out your game that you worked so hard to make. So go ahead, it's up on the screen with you as well.
Thanks. Game is Lost Ones. It's a board game. We finished our Kickstarter and just working on finalizing, kind of opening up the pledge manager for those of you who pledged. That will be happening soon, in January, and the game will launch in this later this year, probably around midway through the year. So we're
Wow.
just hard at work with the publisher and just finishing off some things.
That's fantastic. And I mean, it's not like people have time to, try out some board games right now and like looking for ways to be entertained at home. So, I, check your market, man. No, that's great. But we love to support you and everything that you guys do. And if anybody else has anything going on, please by all means let me know. Let's keep going around the horn, shall we? Bella. Hey, Bella. How's it going?
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Glad to be here. I'm playing Darmita, and she is our Aasimar Ranger. Fun fact, you may not have noticed this in past episodes, so I thought I'd share this with you. She has a really short temper.
What?
She's a,
No.
I know. It's
Get out of town, really?
Yeah, she hides it super, super well. But yeah, that's something about her that most people don't know.
There you
So I
go. Well, most
share.
people who do know don't live long enough to like
Well,
spread
yeah.
the word.
Good point. That's a good point.
And so yeah, and in terms of favorite food, golly, I think my favorite food is just meat.
The meat.
No preference of mutton, pork.
You need to be real careful when you're in hell, like what kind of meat you are talking
Well,
about here, because that could go sideways real quick.
well, yeah, because you know that she hasn't actually eaten anything. So like
Oh, right.
anything from hell. Has she?
Being a ranger, of course, she's busy casting Goodberry left, right, and center. Right.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. I
Or
hadn't
she
thought of that.
doesn't- Yeah, so far she's gotten away with not eating. We'll see if that continues because I think I have two.
I feel like Goodberry would be a bit like the army food, and I think Carl can attest to this. Like when you're in the field and you're eating those things, don't they bung you up like something fierce?
Yeah,
Like you'd
the
have
amount of
nothing.
sulfites that are in there.
You'd have nothing else going through your system except this tiny little berry. It would just be like, it'd be like eating rabbit food and leaving rabbit trails. That's my prediction.
Maybe.
Maybe
How do you track a ranger?
on her.
Tastes like Goodberry. We're on the. All right, sorry. I'm silly tonight. It's been a long time since we played D&D, so I'm super excited. All right, so and that brings us around to Darcy. Let's class up the place with some Darcy, okay?
Oh, is that my job? Okay. Hey, I'm Darcy. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBits. I do some art on my Instagram and stuff. You can find all my links in my about. For this game, I'm playing Henrietta Pedersen, also known as Hen, the pacifist paladin of Palor. She's a paladin with the heart of a bard. And as such, she's tried all sorts of foods. You know, she loves trying the new thing in every little town that she goes to. And I think
You know
she's
what?
like. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Keep going. I just got an idea.
I think she likes sauerkraut. I think that like not like
Sauerkraut.
just a big like helping of it, but
I
like
should be writing
you
these
know,
down.
it's sort of one of those like unique flavors that not everyone has gotten a handle on. She loves trying new things, and
I'm gonna have to watch
that's one
this
that
back.
Stuck around. Yeah.
It's going to be relevant. I promise. It'll be relevant at some point. Why? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But the favorite
food
food thing.
It's gonna be a big banquet somewhere, and they're gonna try and tempt us all with food.
All right. Now there is, of course, there's a character who couldn't be here tonight, Jay. Although, I mean, he's been absent for so long, he's lost in the dreamscape. We don't know What's going on? In reality, he's a dad with 2 young kids, and it's almost impossible. I understand. I know your pain. So, Jay, if you're listening to this after the fact, this one's for you, buddy. All right. The other thing I wanted to mention is Darcy, because you keep coming up with these really whacked names, or at least sayings. I know I can't even say it. Henrietta Pedersen is not that difficult to say, but if we had a giveaway, and I still need to give it away, I have another giveaway that I want to do. And so the thought is either live or after the fact. If you want to hit us up on Instagram or the places, Twitter, I think we have a Facebook. I don't even know anymore. So much doom scroll.
I didn't know about it.
So anyway, you can hit us up if you want to be part of a giveaway. I have now it's first edition. Sorry, not the new one. Just gonna be real clear. It's the old edition, the first edition of Pathfinder. That mega. Let me just grab it real quick.
Okay.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that people still playing.
Oh God.
Oh
Not
yeah,
bad.
Yeah.
I wanna
Finder a
pop-
lot.
I don't want to
Yeah,
pop
just
my
recently came
hernia.
in second, that's all.
Yeah, there is a second edition Pathfinder. So this one, which honestly, it's still got that. You hear the creak
Nice.
sound? It's
Yeah.
barely been touched, and I'll wipe it down before I mail it out to whoever wants this. So this is going to be our giveaway, and I'll do this. We'll announce this hopefully next week, or maybe we'll give it a couple of weeks. So anybody who wants the core rulebook for Pathfinder role-playing game, not that we're playing Pathfinder, you got to respect the Pathfinder. So there's some good stuff in here.
Company. Plasma's good.
It is. So we will be doing that as a giveaway. So that's our giveaway tonight, folks. So the thing is, just either pop into chat, and to register, you need to use the phrase. Now I don't have it automated or anything. You just have to like send me a message on Instagram or in the chat tonight, and you will be entered into a draw, which we will do probably next week or the week after, depending on when we get around to it. So it will be the pacifist Say it, Darcy.
Pacifist Paladin of Palor?
There you go, Pacifist Paladin of Palor. All right, so just say Pacifist Paladin of Palor, and you can get in the draw for that monstrous thing. I almost popped my hernia lifting it up. That's a bear. That is going to cost me a lot in shipping. Oh, jeez. Son of a... All right, anyway.
Well, hopefully it's somebody local.
Yeah, if you're local, I can drop it off. Otherwise, I'll ship it. I will do that. It's worth it. I... Now, if you're interested... Yeah,
it's like, somebody like, that has been a long-time viewer or something, we could take a travel down to the US.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Now, when the borders open.
And then we could
hop on a... Oh, right. But no, we'll give you some light reading to do while you're, staring at these 4 walls. So that also goes for our listeners.
You'll be quizzed.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this on our podcast after the fact, on Podbean, Apple, whatever, let's say for the next... let us know over the next week or so, and we can get you in this draw, and we'll figure it out next week or the week after. So, depending on entries. So yeah, that's all I wanted to mention before we get going. Any other shout-outs or startups?
Nah, let's just jump right in.
All right, let's do this. So, we are going to go back to hell. Let's do this thing. Where's my button? Looking for my button. I have a button. All right, there it is.
Is it the big fire one?
Yeah, except I didn't have it. There we go. Now it's happening. Welcome to hell. So, when we left off, these intrepid adventurers were trying to find their way out of hell, to find their way through to tomorrow. It's even hard to tell time down here. You've lost track after the days? Is it weeks you've been down here? It's hard to even tell now. You've managed to stay together, even though some of you have been lost along the way. The barbarian, the rogue, fallen by the wayside. Now, you find yourselves in unusual company. Standing on the edge of the massive red river known as the Styx, the blood-like water lapping at the stones. Fenris smashed down, landing, trying to cushion the blow for the tiny Holophant, Lulu, that you managed to pull from the grasp of the hell wasps who were trying to kidnap it. The celestial scent of its blood just drawing them to it as a food source. The rest of you, most of you, winging your way back across the Styx from the heights of Haramon's Hill, where you encountered not only a fallen vampire once pledged their life to Pelor, now punished forever in hell. You also found your old nemesis, reborn in hell after being vanquished by this party way back in something like episode 18. Maybe 20. Lord Ostrin, that bastard who started it all, the person responsible for the loss of Fenris's family. Over the time, these unlikely heroes or anti-heroes, it's unlikely traveling companions, have found their way together. Now find themselves gathering once again on the banks of the Styx, wondering what's next. Henrietta, you have just finished your long rest, and you actually hear the trumpet calls of the tiny little Holophants screeching out as the hell wasps tried to wrest it away from the rest of the party. You manage to you kind of pop your head up out of the scavenger vehicle, the infernal machine piloted usually by Clonk and Chonk, the unlikely Kenku companions who are busy snoring away, having driven you most of this way. Even their snoring, they tend to repeat words they've heard. Never escape. Leave it. You just make out in the distance. You're probably like maybe 100 meters, 200 meters away from the river at this point, and you can see this little shape plummet and then bam, and then plummet again, much closer to the thing as Fenris launches himself after it, wresting it from the hell wasps. And you see these angry-looking hell wasps buzzing out over as they escape. I believe Darmita, and even if you weren't, you're probably peppering them with arrows at this point anyway. Your winged boots fluttering. Valerie flying along the Aarakocra form. The Darmita and Valerie are still about a little more than halfway across the Styx at this point. You're back on this side of with the infernal machines you had to park. So Henrietta. So go ahead, Henris.
So I have that hard landing pretty much right near the Holophant.
Mm-hmm.
I rush over. Is he still out?
Well, let me just roll a d20 and we'll see. Oh, he is definitely dazed. He took a hard knock on the head when he landed, and so he's conscious but confused. And he looks up at you, and you hear this voice in your head be like, "Yes, mother, I will." What? Huh?
All right, hold on, Lulu. And I use the Kyogim's ointment.
Okay, so you reach in your bag and your pouch, pull out this ointment, unstopper it, put it on him.
Because I know it'll cure poison and disease. So I know that he's been stung and poisoned.
Absolutely. Do you remember how many d4s that is?
It's 2d8 plus 2.
Ooh, that ain't too small. Nice, go for it.
Rolling the dice. He gets 7 hit points.
Nice.
And if he was poisoned, he's no longer poisoned. And if he was diseased, he's no longer diseased.
All right, he looks up at you and in your head you hear him speak. Oh, thank you. You didn't let me fall back in the water. Thank you.
I give him a nod, and I look around, just make sure that none of the wasps are trying to get close to us.
They seem to have lost interest after you pulled them away. After you pulled the Hollyphant away, they definitely seemed more interested in anything with celestial blood. Although a few of them did give Darmita some lingering glances. You can tell by the hexagonal eyes. Somehow.
Do I see the others coming across the
Absolutely.
water? Or...
At this point,
Yeah,
they're probably like 50 meters away from you or less and closing fast. I suppose I should do it in feet, so it's consistent with Dungeons and Dragons.
So I'm just readying myself in case there's something else that's coming at us.
Absolutely. As you're sitting there, Lulu, you can hear Lulu speaking in your head as it looks up at you. The long, elongated nose is almost comical. This miniature mammoth form looking up at you, and it says, "Avernus, I don't know what you did, but I think I can remember a bit more. Go ahead and roll 2d6 for me."
2d6?
Mhm.
Okay. Double 6 is 12.
Damn. All right. Okay. Let me just look up two things then real fast. I just want to get the
That's a good
names
roll.
right.
Or
That is
really
a
bad
pretty good
roll.
roll. Well,
Let's say it's a good roll. Two
Let's-
really good rolls.
let's just say.
Yeah.
Oh. Fenris. Is the echo too much, or is that okay?
No, that's all right.
It implies telepathy. All right. Fenris. That
Yes, Lulu.
thing, the vampire. He mentioned the Hell Rider. The Crypt of the Hell Riders. I think I can find our way there. I remember passing it with Mahadi. And he said I shouldn't go, but I think I could find that again. If you want.
I think that's definitely a place we should check out. It's a better lead than anything else.
Oh, and I just remembered something else. Mahadi. I remember Mahadi. He seemed nice. We should. It was peaceful. Not so much plummeting from the sky, smashing my face on the rocks. Oh, I like these rocks. And he begins to kind of paw at them with his trunk in the manner that very similar to the way you met him as that old man. Just kind of picking them up, tawing around with them.
And what of this Mahadi? I know that his name has been thrown around a bit, and that one of her own might actually be with him now, if you remember her.
That's right.
The little gnome.
Oh yes, she was silly. Oh, look, Onyx. I've read about now the rest of you have gotten there. Henrietta, you could have closed that distance in that time if you want to have, or you
Yeah,
can
I
wait at the
think
vehicles.
probably sometime during there you see Henrietta sort of galloping forward on this this white horse that she summoned earlier. I think that's still around. I don't think that.
Yeah, it'll last.
Unless I
think.
unsummoned it, but I don't think I did. It lasts, I think, forever.
And it doesn't need concentration, so it's just around for quite a while.
It's just like, it's a magic horse.
It's just there. All right, you get to ride your magic horse. Go ahead and roll. In Shadowrun, I'd make you roll your luck, your edge roll, but in this, I'm just gonna make you roll. Let's go with what would be similar to that? A charisma? Sure. Let's go with charisma.
Sure.
Because of reasons.
I
Go
could
ahead and
give
roll
you,
your charisma.
An answer if you knew what this was for.
Let's go with charisma. It's just an ability check roll. So, or yeah, it's an attribute roll. But roll your charisma.
Okay,
and
so
you
I think
can,
I get,
if you have
what,
intimidation,
half to
you could
'cause
roll that.
I'm- Intimidation?
As a pacifist, what is it?
You want me to roll intimidation?
Yeah, if you've got intimidation, go for it.
I do have intimidation. I got a 26.
Oh, damn. All right, so as you get this white steed, this almost glow-in-the-dark style steed. You mount up and you ride it right out of the back of this scavenger, kind of looks a bit like an overgrown school bus with massive tires and a big crane on the back. You go galloping out, tearing off all the way down, and about halfway there, you see this small flight of hell wasps kind of divert, and you can see one being like, and they start diving down towards this horse, and you can see the light glowing in your eyes, and you look up at them, and there's this like,
yeah, I just like rear up on the back of the horse, and like its mane like glows.
And you just raise your shield up, and there's just like this Pelor symbol right there, and you're just like, and they just like, and they just peace out. Not worth the conflict. All right, so in a second you can join the conversation. Everybody else, you are now where they are crashed on the bank of the Styx.
I will run up to Lulu just to check on him and see.
So you run up, and he's got a little bit of blood trickling down, like some road rash on one side of his elephantine face, and looks up at you a little bit draggled, and kind of this look of intensity in his eye as he holds out his snout, like, and in your head you hear this message that goes, "I found onyx," and there's this little stone, a very smooth stone in his hand, in his snout, and he offers it to you.
I'll just kind of take his hand in my hand, and when I do, I'm gonna.
As you kind of take his snout or his paw, he morphs back into the little old man, naked as the days of born, no sense of shame whatsoever, just hanging out. And he's just standing there holding your hand, looking up at you, like, and he's now got the onyx in one nostril, and he's like, and it goes popping out and clinks on the ground. He goes, "Oh," and starts fishing around trying to find it again.
And as usual, I'll cover him.
Yeah, that's why you carry that extra cloak.
Yeah, and I'm going to probably do another cure wounds just to make sure he's fully healthy. I don't know that
he's a little banged up still, even after the ointment. But
and I even know that he got that.
Fenris, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 16.
16. All right, so yeah, you would pick out that after there was, when he first came slamming down, he looked all confused. You applied the ointment and he seemed better, but he actually, there's even a greater clarity to him now than there was prior to that. It seems that some of that ointment seemed to have an effect on him, perhaps on the root, at least a little bit on the root of alleviating his forgetfulness and his disease that he picked up, either in hell, or you get the impression that he's a little more clear than you've ever really known him. Oh, well, slightly. I mean, he's still an insane old man who picks up rocks.
Good to know.
Henrietta comes galloping down, shield out, mace at her side still probably, and surveys and sees the rest of you.
Wielded it, but I have it with me.
Yeah. And Valerie is landed as well. So you're all back together on the edge of the Styx.
Cool. Yeah, I like stop and dust kicks up. Is everyone all right? How did it go?
By the way, I rolled a 6.
All right. How did it go? There it is.
We ran into Alstrin.
That gets a surprised look.
He's
Did you tell me previously that you killed him? I think you did.
Yes,
right?
I did. Yes,
I
he's apparently not a human. He's a devil after all. And Narzugan, right hand of Zariel, and yeah, he roams the land and had a whole bunch of people tortured. Apparently, With the history of it, Zario, as you saw in the dream, was left, and many of those who fled and eventually met their demise found themselves back here in torment. But we didn't quite get what we were looking for, but we potentially have a new lead.
Before I respond to that, I would like to roll to see if my find the path recharges, which I believe is a D6.
Absolutely. Go for it.
It does not.
You reach out that helm, which is permanently affixed to your head, which makes sleeping a little awkward. But
It does.
you kind of blink as he mentions this, and you reach out with your. There's this pulse, but unfortunately, there's this scramble of voices rather than a clear single voice, and it's just overlapping, and it's hard to tell. It kind of comes through as like,
the way will lead you must follow the will brought and eat your blood.
That's I seem to have lost my way myself, so any lead you have sounds worth following up on now. Let's get back to the machines.
Yeah, let's get out of here. We're vulnerable here.
all right. So you guys make your way back towards the infernal machines, where Barnabas, the Flame Skull, and the two Kenku are waiting
Yeah,
for
on the way,
you.
I do mention that Alshin may, I don't know, it might be too good to hope, but we did throw him off the cliff. He might have fallen into the sticks. Not sure.
Oh yes, I don't recommend that, says the old man.
Would that, I'm asking you, the GM, would that kill a devil?
Generally, what happens?
Can I make a religion
Yeah,
check?
go ahead and either roll religion or arcana to see if you would know.
Okay.
And anyone else can if you want to.
Bad roll.
I'll roll.
9.
Yeah, religion
Seeing
check.
as I brought it up. Arcana.
Do we have to
Religion
be?
or arcana?
Do we have to be proficient?
No, I mean you could have heard it from like kids' stories and all of that.
18.
18? All right.
Yeah.
I see an 11 there. Not getting nothing for an 11. 17 and an 18. Nice. Okay, so it's one of those moments where Fenris starts to fill in some gaps, and then Darmita kind of chimes on, and for a moment you forget a little piece of your history as you're kind of like recalling this, kind of a bit like helping each other recall this. Effectively, you remember that according to myth and legend, a dunk in the sticks can scramble your mind and tear your very sense of self apart, and leaving you either scrambled and desperate and vulnerable, or possibly even if you end up drowning in the sticks, you can. There's also a bit of another myth that the other person fills in, that when someone either dies under contract to a devil or are slain by a hellfire weapon, their soul arises from the river Styx as a new lemur devil, and fills in as a foot soldier, as a fleshy fodder for the eternal war between the demons and the devils.
You can only hope that he fell in.
That sounds
But
like
I
a
wouldn't be
mortal thing.
surprised.
Now, for the more, I mean, it didn't kill the old man. It scrambled his mind. It weakened him. But it didn't kill him. So there is a possibility that Ostrin might still be alive.
Probably very strong. Just hopefully he scrambled. Anyways, we need to get out of here.
Absolutely. All right. Where do you guys want to go? Says Barnabas, the Flame Skull.
Arby's.
Jander mentioned something and about going to a new location, and that is the Crypt of the Hell Riders. And when we landed, I gave Lulu some ointment of my Kyogum's ointment and to help with his poison, and he seemed more lucid. And he seemed very clear for a few moments and mentioned about how he knows where the Crypt of the Hell Riders is, and he also mentioned Mahadi being around.
Mahadi is the lead of the traveling. Hold on, it's here. One sec. Um, the Emporium, the Wandering Emporium. Yeah, it's a traveling bazaar. It winds its way all across the hells, in particular this one. He sometimes comes through. I don't know where he would be right now, but we've definitely been there. And one of the one of the Kenku leans over and elbows Felurian's like, yeah, good biscuits, good biscuits.
What do you mean by that?
Good biscuits.
Ah, I see. Oh,
what do you mean by that? Yeah, it's good.
I mean, Felice did mention that to meet with Mahadi. So we've got 2 potential options, but do you guys know where this Crypt of the Hell Riders are? Have you heard of this?
I'm gonna get you to tell you what. On behalf of Barnabas, go ahead and roll a d20 and add 2, but you have advantage as he uses the mage hand to pull out the map of Avernus that you've all seen before. So he fishes out this mad cartographer's map, and I better load that up some.
Come on.
With advantage. Oh, a
8.
7 followed by an 8. So
Great.
it's like, I mean, I've never been there before myself, but I think maybe the map would know. And the map opens up and it goes, I see trees burning in the breeze. And it just keeps singing this annoying song until you finally stuff it away in a bag of holding. Or in a sack somewhere. And even then you can hear it. It's a good 5 minutes of this. It's like a twisted lullaby that if you sang to a kid would definitely give them nightmares. Whoops. You know, the best kind of lullabies.
Can Darmita grab it and just, like, punch it? Just
sure.
Sheer annoyance.
Ow! 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 I don't like you. You are rude.
You're annoying. Shut up.
Well then, you won't have my help and you'll never know where the burning trees are. Ha!
You've never helped us yet.
Ah, but
Alright, that's enough.
Henrietta comes in and tears the 2 apart as you're like literally wrestling a map. Okay, so Henrietta now has the map.
Right. Try and keep you safe. Let's quiet down for a bit.
I like
Is
you.
Lulu with us?
Lulu's with you. Yeah, everybody's there.
Lulu, I'll turn to Lulu. Lulu, you mentioned about the tomb of the Crypt of the Hell Riders. Do you remember where still?
It's the old man, so it doesn't talk telepathically and sound exactly like the map. Apparently I need more voices. All right, Lulu looks up at you and says, well, I do remember. It was after we passed the bone brambles, and near the zapper thingy. Yes, it was near a lake of fire. Does that help?
I kind of turn to Barnabas and the two others, like a lake of fire.
And Barnabas is like, against my better judgment, Henrietta, can you open up the map?
Sure.
And I don't know
Before I
who's on.
go,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
if we only have a name to go off of, and this place is as inconsistent, topographically as it seems to be, I'm not sure how much it's going to help. Might not even be where we last saw it, right? And I open them up. Yeah.
They're right, sister.
says the map as it speaks. Wow, that's really loud. Sorry. At least to me, anyway. You pore over the map for a while, and it's definitely a bizarre map. Sometimes things are shifted. Even when you open it again, you're just like, wait, wasn't that? Nah, nah. So beforehand, already Harmond Hill is drifted about a quarter of the way down the page compared to where you're used to it. The map updates, but it's a little hard to tell. You do manage to point out that there is a strange kind of there's lakes of fire in various places and plains of volcanoes and stuff, but the largest of the lake of fires is down here. That's right.
Not that far away from the what was it actually? He called it the zappy thing.
Yeah, hey, thanks very much, Yalfen, for the host. Very appreciated. And don't forget, you can mess with the players for some plot points. Just saying. All right, back to the game. Game face on. All right. So what were we saying, Darcy?
The zappy thing. I think before you told us what it was called, I don't remember. But the zappy thing, it's not that far away.
Yes.
It'd be a place to start.
We passed the zappy thing, and got caught in the brambles, but the Wandering Emporium has ways to deal with these things. Very few things will stop Mahadi and his group from traveling through. In fact, just the mere mention of his name tends to make others pay attention and smile or growl in anger and deceit.
Is this where we plan to go? This Mahadi? I thought that was a different lead.
Well, I remember I was traveling with Mahadi for some time. I believe it was Chocka and Clunk found me by the sticks, and the two Kenku give a nod. And I was with Mad Maggie for a time, and then I don't remember all of it. And Barnabas pipes up and says, "Well, Mad Maggie trades with Mahadi sometimes, and you seemed interested in going. So she traded with Mahadi and sent you on your way. Sorry, brother, but that's the way of hell." And the Kenku nod again. So we traveled a time, and I don't remember much, but I know we passed the Zappa thing. It's amazing what it would do to an Urgoth. And then we got caught up in the brambles for a little while, after which there was the large lake of fire. It was pretty in its way. And Mahadi said that the Hell Riders rested there, and he pointed to a hill rise. That's about as close as I could get at the time. But they used to call us the Hell Riders, or at least those who, not us, those who stayed were true to the Zeriel. But those who betrayed, I believe they were called the Hell Riders after they fled. Oh no, we were called the Hell Riders before. I'm very confused.
Can I see if, and I don't know, I can't remember because it's been a few weeks, and I'm in a bit of a fog, but can I check to see if I've gotten back my commune with my
sure.
mom?
Yeah, go for it. Roll a d6. I
'Cause
believe it
I want
recharges on a d6.
that this might be an opportunity to commune with her.
Absolutely.
3.
You're sitting there and you're listening, and every mention of the Hell Riders, this odd sensation kind of wells up, almost like it's this almost painful memory welling up in your chest, and then it fades. And for a second, you concentrate and you chase that feeling, and you're like, no, come on, come back. And it eludes you. It just slips out of your grasp and settles back down. Maybe it's those good berries. It's been a little while since you pooped. but you don't seem to get a read on your mom.
Yeah, it's important to stay regular, guys.
Absolutely. Today's episode is brought to you by Fiber.
I mean, Faluri is the only canonical pooper.
It's true.
Probably
That's right.
any role-playing game character I've ever seen.
It's true.
Hey, man.
Maybe this is why so bitchy, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've heard of hangry, but what's that called?
I don't know. Anyway,
Rage bunged? Angstipated. Hey,
There you go.
That's it. That's a good one. Angstipated. All right, let's hope that's not the episode name. Why are you so angstipated?
Hellish angstipation.
All right. Anyway,
what's this one here? And I want to point at the sword hill underneath the lake of fire.
Underneath the lake of Barnabas looks at it like, well, I mean, this whole place has been littered by ancient battlefields, and some of them torn from other planes, and other times they're, so that's, I go ahead and roll a d20 on his behalf, if he knows. He's a fairly well-informed flame skull as far as flame skulls go. A 5. Yeah, I don't have a fucking clue. Oh, big sword.
Well, I think that our leads are a little tenuous right now, and well, even just that lake of fire is quite a bit of backtracking.
Yeah.
What was the tower of again?
That's the
Closer, at least.
if it's here, it tends to it's more like a tower base, and there's this crazy old wizard that moves his wizard tower in there. And some of the devils try to run a protection racket for him, and he does a bunch of stuff. Generally,
Like the
Mad
mortal
Maggie has stayed
wizard.
well away from him. He seems really I mean, I live in hell, and he seems really fucked up.
But are they fiendish?
And, no, he hires fiends. I think he's from the mortal planes, at least originally. One of the benefits of us going back there is, we're kind of closer to Mad Maggie's, and, well, I mean, we're happy to help you guys out a bit and all, but, we're still technically on loan, so, we could probably stick around a little bit longer if we go back that way, because it'd be a quicker route home for the rest of us. I mean, you could keep this, and he points at the big infernal machine. We'll just bail on that one when the time comes.
Monster not sure where to go. I could keep heading north. Well, or lack of a better word. But wouldn't know when I found it. It might not even be there anymore.
Well, it's up to you guys where you want to go. I mean, we've seen the Styx watchtowers, and I can show those to y'all.
Harmon's Hill was a dead end. I think unless we can find Mahadi, maybe we find him on the way towards this lake of fire. It's the only thing where it's the only lead I can think of right now. And 2 people mentioned it, Jander and then Lulu.
Let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
go find this traveling bazaar.
So you guys pile
Let's
into
find
your
the lake of
infernal
fire, and
machines.
maybe we'll see the bazaar on the way.
Go ahead and roll a d8 for me, somebody.
Go ahead.
And
All right.
D8.
Do you want to do it, Carl?
Yes.
Yeah. How do they do it?
An
Yeah.
8. Nice. Okay, well, so you still have 8 full days worth of fuel based on... So you're already fueled up on soul coins as you power up your, I want to say demon grinder, but I think you actually took the different one. And you
We took the scavenger, I think.
You took the scavenger, and there is another one. It's not the demon grinder, but anyway, it's labeled demon grinder because why not? Actually, can I change that? I think I can. Represents. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. I can change the name. Party.
Magic school bus.
Like we took the second biggest vehicle.
That's gonna have to be canon now, although it's probably copywritten. Magic school bus. There it is. Can you see that? All right, so there's your magic school bus. You're right there, and sandwiched in between the Harmon's Hill, the Stygian docks, the sundered chains, and the Hellwasp. Do you want to go back the way you came along through the mountains, along the river, or do you want to go around, kind of passing past the Tower of kind of direction and past those Hellwasp nests? The sticks.
What do you think the briars are that Lulando mentioned?
It's tough to. Oh, you can go ahead and do a.
I was asking the other players.
yeah, that's fine.
It's possible this sort of marshy-looking thing is that, but I'm not entirely sure if that's supposed to be liquid or overgrowth.
All right, well, you guys power up the vehicles and start heading that way anyway. So, which way do you want to go around the river?
Well, we maybe if we go west and south, like around, that might be a way. Maybe we'll run into the Mahadi's Emporium. But actually, you know what I would say to Barnabas is like, what does he think is like the safest route to get us closest to?
So you hear him yelling, and there's precious little to enjoy in hell, but it definitely seems like Barnabas is enjoying driving these infernal machines. He's like, yeah, hell yeah, man, this is freaking awesome. And so he looks over at you and he yells over the roar of the engine. He's just like, yeah, you never really know. It could go great. Oh, god damn, I just think I ran over a chain devil. He's not caught up in the axle, is he? All right. Yeah, it's hard to tell out here. Some days it's clear, and the next thing you know, a pot of demons will land.
Said, hi, meow.
Hey, how's it going, Sarah Fabriel? Welcome back to the stream. Thanks for jumping in. We're doing our Dungeons and Dragons. Don't forget, you can always mess with our players, or mess with me and help them out or hinder them. Just spend a plot point. All right, so it was looking like it's kind of a roll of the dice either way, so to speak.
Yeah.
I was gonna vote for west and south as well, going more.
You came from the east,
the
south,
left side of the tower.
Said, good.
Nice, you're already plotting. Yes, good.
Yes.
Okay. Whoa, that really echoed. Sorry. All right. As I deafen all my friends on the cast. All right. So yeah, you haven't been southwest. You've been southeast. So you kind of know this way. So if you want to go out and around, you could probably find a way to ford that little offshoot of the sticks there and make your way around. So can I get one of you to do a roll of a d10 for me? Or do you want d20? Doesn't really matter. What do you feel like?
Divide it, yeah.
Yeah, but for now, I'm gonna if we're gonna be hanging out for a little while, I'm gonna take a rest.
Absolutely. So while you're motoring, who wants to helm? So whoever rolls is going to stay up and basically be on watch along with the other
7.
crew.
I rolled.
Sure. And in fact, you can be driving. You know how to drive one of the two vehicles. So
Yeah,
Barnabas is driving
done it.
one. You'll drive the other. The Kenku are going to rest and take the other, some of the other watches. So there'll always be one other, one of your companions is going to join you, be driving the other one while the rest of you are resting. We'll do a rest on the roll. Does that work?
So how long are we resting for, essentially?
If you want to do it you could probably get away with a long rest if you don't encounter anything, or you can park and hide and have a long rest. There may be. It's hard to tell which would have less of a
Risk?
chance of an encounter. Yeah, whether
I
on the
don't think we
move
can
or
afford to
staying still.
park. I think, rest and hope for the best.
All
as we
right.
go.
So Bella has already volunteered to be on the watch. So everybody else, this is a first. Anybody else going to stay up with her, or let her and Barnabas take it?
I mean, I just slept, so I can.
Sure. So you could stay up for a bit. So both of you can either do a perception check, or one of you can roll with advantage.
You want to take advantage, Bella?
Perception's not my strength. Just saying, meta wise.
I mean, it's your favorite terrain, right?
That is true.
Rain,
So you get advantage.
Okay.
She lacks the hell
I guess I'll roll anyway.
Yeah, roll anyways, then she gets advantage.
That's not how that move works, but sure.
Yeah.
That works.
Intentionally designed as double proficiency bonus instead, so
It is.
you can have advantage.
Yeah, no, he's right. It is designed that it's double proficiency rather than
I can roll perception.
Yeah, go for it. Whichever one you want to do.
I got a 9.
All right. And you're rolling with advantage there, Darcy, or is it Bella also?
I wasn't
going to roll?
intending to.
Okay.
No,
Well,
it's
then
Bella.
Bella is also going to roll a perception. 14. All right. And can you roll a d10 for me, Bella, being the kind of help? Oh, you already did that. You
Yeah,
got
a
a
7.
7. Okay. All right. So you're rattling along. You're having to get the hang of steering around. If you didn't know better, it does get a little bit dimmer, but only a little bit more dim. And every once in a while, Henrietta looks over towards your machine. Henrietta's in the other one with Barnabas, and looks over and sees nobody driving. Oh, the mad cartographer is talking in his sleep. It's very maddening. By the way, that's Siren's Cape. We use that in the background here just for fun. So anyway, as you're bumping along, you occasionally look over, Henrietta, and it's bizarre because the other machine, every once in a while, when it passes through these regions of dimmer light, you look over and you see no one driving it, but it's still steering itself for a little while. And then as it goes back into slightly more reddish tones of the dim light of hell, you can then see, oh, there she is. So anyway, a couple of hours pass, let's say three hours pass of travel, and uneventful. Doesn't seem to have anything happen. So you can now switch it up, Bella. It's your turn to take a little rest. Who wants to take it?
I'll take the next one.
All right. So can I?
So at least I have a short rest completed at least. So I'll just
That's true.
reset my key points so that.
That is, of course, important.
Oh,
all right.
It sure is. And I'll wait to restock my health until see if it's actually a long rest or not. So
for sure, absolutely. So you take over and remind yourself of the controls. Do 2 things for me. I want you to roll perception for me. Henrietta, you can do the double if you want, or you can get a little bit of rest and try to get back in sync with everybody else.
I think I'm trying to not exert myself so that we can eventually get our sleep schedules to line up, but I'm also not
it's not a bad thing to be 4 hours
I'm not
out.
taking short rest or anything. Yeah.
It's good. All right. I got a nat 20 and a nat 1. We're counting the nat 20 though.
Nice. All right. So and Darcy, again, you can roll perception if you like.
Sure. I didn't think there'd be a point, but
well, not anymore with a nat 20. But no, go ahead. And it might have a story implication. I don't know. And can I get Carl? Can you roll a d10 for me?
A d10, of course. That'll be a 3.
Seems good. Seems like a good roll. I like it.
All right. So, your eagle eye, literally, your eagle eyes are just taking it all in. The dim light is almost nothing to you. Now, you prefer to fly, and you're driving the smaller of the 2 vehicles, the little dune buggy, basically. So a couple of times you get in a good feel for it. You go over this. You've got a choice. You can see these dunes, and you're like, wait a sec. And the bigger bus thing goes around it, but you think you could probably.
Launch off of it.
It's your call, bro. But
I can
it
make
would.
it. I can
All
make
right.
it.
So go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll your land vehicles proficiency. If you don't have it, it is just straight up dex.
Let's go with the straight up dex.
All right. The DC is going to be slightly higher.
All of a sudden, a generally
Not 20.
song just came to my mind.
You're just like, you come around the corner, kicking dirt out the side, and you're just like, you know what? You prefer to fly, but
I
these are
believe I
kind
can
of
fly.
fun. Nice. And you literally just, with a nat 20, I gotta give this to you. The other school bus thing is going around, and this one just goes right over top and comes slamming down. Everybody is like on board. Which the only other person on board the little infernal machine is one of the Kenkus, who looks up at you and is just like, bro,
High
and
wing,
just
high wing.
winging you, just wing. And you got 2 hands and a wing, so you can still control anyway, slap and wing. And yeah, that was impressive. All right, and that is the eventful thing that passes with your turn. So you make it another 3 hours worth of travel. All right, who's going to take it from there?
Sarah Fabriel said, Keanu Reeves as a Kenku.
Keanu Reeves. Bro. Oh, that is now canon. I can do
I'm
that.
impressed with that pronunciation, honestly.
Yeah. Keanu
Sarah
Reeves.
Fabriel said, yay.
Yeah, that is now canon. Whoa. And yeah, just this Kenku only ever watched like Keanu Reeves movies. By the way, this is
That's what
my
happens
wheelhouse.
in hell, man.
All right. That's how it was tortured when it first arrived. All right. So who's gonna helm the next one?
I'm still hanging for a long. Did I get?
You'll
a long
still
rest
get a
yet?
long rest. This is like your period of watch,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah, like if I got the long rest, then I can.
Yeah,
can
at
help.
the end of your watch, which is just driving, so that's not. I'm gonna stretch the rules a little bit here and say that can be part of your rest, so long as nothing interrupts it, and nothing too significant interrupts it. So you step up, and Barnabas is gonna go and have a little rest. So you're gonna be driving the big bus. So he shows you how to use it, and first of all, I'm gonna get you to roll your either ground vehicles or your decks.
Okay, well I'll roll my dex. I did learn it before we left.
Oh, that's right. So you'll be fine. Although you're not technically proficient.
Yeah, not technically.
Unless you have ground vehicles.
Nope.
Okay.
20.
Hey, nice job. All right, so you have no problems at all driving this thing. You're just like, oh yeah, I got this.
Must be
And
a shadow thing.
yeah, exactly. You're just like, your father once taught you how to drive infernal machines made out of like old wagon parts, just in case, son, you ever end up in hell. Okay, not quite. Anyway, so you are booking it along just fine. Do a perception check for me.
Sure. Is it with advantage, or is someone giving me advantage, or just straight up?
Unless, well, Henrietta, if you want to get back on other people's sleep cycle, you are gonna have to sleep this time. So I think you are.
That sounds great because I'm on the same vehicle anyway here.
Yeah,
right?
so I think you're on your own, and the Kenkus are up on the other side. Sorry, bro.
That works for me.
15.
Not bad. All right. And go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
2.
It's that pause.
With your 15, you're coming around, and you see this lake that you've been kind of cresting around. You're almost to it at this point, and you look out there, and there's these weird landscapes that you've passed already. So nothing's like, at times it's very barren desert, very Arizona or even salt flats at other times. And then as you come around this crest, you see this massive pile of like green, almost like green crystals and petrified trees, almost like just plucked out of somewhere else and just deposited in the middle of the desert. And as you're kind of, I mean, I'm assuming you're not gonna get too close to that if you don't want to. There's an easy way to give it a good distance. And as you're driving along, uh, pretty far off from out of this little pile of green crystals and petrified trees, you see this little humanoid figure running and you can't hear it over the sound of the Inferno machine roaring, and it's like, hey man, come on.
Run him over.
And it's pretty far away. You can easily keep going. It's definitely humanoid, but that's all you can really make out. It's totally your call.
You know what? I'll check it out. Like I don't want to get close, super close to the humanoid, but I'm willing to at least get a closer look at like is this like a trap? Is this like a demon? Like I'm not saying if it's a demon or a devil, but
No.
like
So you slow down to try and get a good look at it, and
I mentioned to Barnabas, like I point over there, like what's that?
are we under attack?
Not sure. There's a humanoid trying to flag us down. Take a look.
I was sleeping, man. I was a spellcaster. My sleep matters to me. What? Oh, fine. And he looks over. And, you can. He takes a good look. He's like, oh no. Keep going.
All right. What is it? But let's keep going. Fine.
No. Just keep going.
Did I get a good look at what it was?
You can. You know what? I'll give you. Let me see. Let me just roll against your 15 because you already got 15. You see enough. You make out there's no wings. This is a humanoid, a little smaller than your average human, but not much. Running along. It's got this green kind of filthy, dust-encrusted cloak billowing along behind. Is wearing some clothes, but definitely seen better days. Very bedraggled hair, and even almost like this strange, bizarre, like crown-like hair sticking up, and just the rest of it spilling out like this wild mane coming off of this, and running along, and the cloaks flapping along and waving their hands, and they even pull.
Weird. Let's go.
And Barnabas is like, no, we gotta keep going. No.
Okay.
All right.
I'm getting away from it now and like returning on course, and I'm just wondering, like, do you know what that is?
Oh, well, I hate that guy. He's such a pull.
Who is he?
Oh, it's Smiler the Defiler. You don't. He's such a prick. I mean, he's generally he's a twerp. He used to run a gang, and now he's yeah. So yeah, he's he is a mortal. He's from the Feywild, actually. He explains. He's an Eladrin who's been here in Barnabas's words way too goddamn long. You can head back if you want to, but
nope.
All right, you keep on keeping on. So you come up to where this you can either go quite a bit around on the plane, according to the map anyway. Who wakes up and says something about your mother, and says, "Oh," and you can head towards the this side. Like there's a river up here, or something, a lake with a massive bridge, or you can kind of crest around the end of this little crack, little tributary of the Styx, or you can try and fjord the Styx at a low point. Which way do you want to go?
I mean, I think like if there's a low point that we really see is feasible, maybe forward, but otherwise we'd go around that crack.
All right, so it's been a long rest for everybody, so tick that little box, and you are all conscious enough you can make this decision together if you want to.
I would vote for low point.
Yeah.
That was my vote.
All right, so I'm going to get you to do a survival check to find a spot where you can get across this part of the river/lake without submerging. The wheels on these infernal machines are quite large, but you don't want to either get stuck halfway across or go in to the point where you're submerged in the sticks, because that would be that would be bad.
Who's doing the survival check? Is it Darmita?
Darmita, sure, you have advantage. Rangers.
Ooh, got moment like points.
Honestly,
back.
they don't get actually that much.
21.
21. Nice. You find a spot, and you're like, wait a minute. There. And you turn the vehicles at just the right moment, and you fjord your way across, no problem. And ahead of you on the plains, you can see probably just make out pretty far ahead after you cross. You can just make out this large spire-like bending trees, not unlike the thing that was on top of Howerman's Hill, with these weird twisted shapes extending up almost directly ahead. And Lulu says to you, "Oh, yes, that's the zappery thing. We can go around, or closer, if you wish. I think it was further that way, to the Lake of Fire." And he points past it. So you can scoot between or go around.
Doing anything?
It's
like, can we visibly see it zapping and stuff?
Go ahead and roll a perception check. You're still pretty far away, so I'm going to say disadvantage. It's like almost looking at a distant mountain, almost that distance.
Was he saying that telekinetically, or was he saying that out loud?
He said that out loud. I just wanted to differentiate that voice from Barnabas.
Okay.
I mean, Barnabas is simple to differentiate because they got the list. It's great.
It's true.
I'm so glad they lost a tooth in the first episode.
Absolutely, man.
You're welcome.
It was really good. Helped to find the character.
Absolutely. I love it when things you guys do reinforce what's in the book. It's just so fun.
Said, it's 150 miles to Chicago, full tank of gas and half a keg of beer. It's hot as hell and we're wearing armor. Hit it. Sarah Fabriel.
Yeah.
Said, yes.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's phenomenal. Let's hit it. Okay, so you're gonna go to the zapper. Do a perception check there, Darcy. How'd you do?
I did. It was a 7.
Ooh, you don't see Jack. You see like a little flicker of lightning, but it's no different than anywhere else in parts of hell.
Is it gonna zap us? I don't want to be zapped.
I don't want to be zapped.
I don't know. I think, well, we could find out, says.
You know Barnabas?
Wow, it's your funeral. Oh, wait, it's also probably my funeral, so, yeah, it's really up to you. Do you want to go past there or kind of do a deke around?
What's the Black Lake on the other side?
Oh, it's a black lake filled with twisting tentacles of doom and despair.
Good to know. Thanks.
It's probably going to be safer to either go right to the zapper or maybe around to the west. If you could avoid the insect queen, you might just have to deal with the burning dust storms.
Great.
Bro! And it slaps the wing again. All right. So while these guys are making up their mind and heading on their way on their little road trip through hell, we're gonna take a quick little break, a refresh point. We'll come back in 10 minutes. So thanks very much, everybody. Let's do this thing. Where'd my sound go?
Highway to hell.
Oh, yes. And other such copywritten music. Here we go. Thanks very much, everybody.
I actually found out on a DJ stream that I was listening to that if it's, I can't remember how many seconds or under so many seconds, it's not caught.
Sweet. We can do these little references. I love it. Highway to hell. Highway to... And we're out of time. All right. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, everybody. Thanks very much.
See you guys. Yeah.
I also ready like language.
No shame. No shame.
No shame. Shame is for the weak and the dead and the regretful and the also the people who, yeah. Hey, there it is. Apparently that's the noise. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're gonna be playing some Dungeons and Dragons again. So you guys are booking it across hell. You guys have your infernal machines. You've fjorded. That's the term, right? So you managed to fjord the river Styx a little bit in a little narrow spot. It's kind of a tributary towards the river Styx, and you are now. You have a choice. You can make your way down towards what you can only assume is the what has been affectionately termed the Demon Zapper, or you can make your way over towards. There is another kind of overly large spire due west from you. You can just make out the hills, and you see these massive sandstorms blowing across. Off to the west are these reddish hills of dust and destruction, and there's these random ruins and these little piles of mountains and things. You do see this overly this kind of large crested strange arch type thing way off in the distance. You can just make it out. That's directly west of where you are, like and then due south of you, or approximately south of you, is the thing that Barnabas has called the Demon Zapper. There is also the twisted lake of twisting black tentacles and bile and all of that, and Barnabas is recommending you don't go there. So you can make your way, scoot them between, like right in between the two if you want to. You could stop and check out the Demon Zapper. Head over to that large mountainy, peaky thing over due west, across the plains with the fire desert dust storms.
It's inspiring to hear it referred to as a Demon Zapper instead of just that Zapper thing. I feel a little bit more confident now if we do want to head towards it.
That's up to you guys. So you can either skirt around it, you can cut across the desert, or you can scoot between it and the Ichor Lake, or you can go to the Demon Zapper. You're intending to check out this lake of fire that your Holophant friend has vaguely remembers. Where do you want to go?
I mean, my recommendation would be to skirt close around the Zapper, either on the east or west side, and then make our way south. Not go all that way to the west through that desert and potentially bug Queen.
Seems pretty clear to the west there, but honestly, I'd be willing to take a closer look and sort of watch what happens to me if you'd like.
All right. I don't know. What do the rest of you guys think?
So we got one vote for kind of around. We got one vote for to the Bug Zapper. What do you want?
I go for the kind of around. That'd be my vote.
Well, I don't have any attachment to heading towards it, so by all means.
I'm gonna, I think, at least in my mind, err on the side of caution and say around.
All right, so that's
debatable if that's caution or not. But
well, it's true.
Cool.
All right, so you steer the massive bus like infernal machine that you're riding, and the little dune buggy trailing along or scouting ahead lurches to the right as you start making your way out. At kind of a last second, you come around a hill and you see what honestly looks like this massive bug It's this massive hornet-shaped thing, like literally just sitting there. For a second, you're all just like, "Oh my god!" As the wings extend out hundreds of feet up into the air, the twisted exoskeleton just kind of lurching over the ground, and you see this massive tail stinger sticking down. And do a perception check. This thing is still maybe a good 500 feet away, as you kind of maybe a little more than that, maybe 700 feet away, directly ahead.
On that 20.
Yeah, I think roll 20 is broken for me today.
That's the third nat 20 you've rolled today.
That's right.
Nice.
The second for perception.
All right, so Bela, Gordon, Darcy, you all look at this thing and you're like, "Oh my gods."
I didn't roll, actually.
Okay, well, I was just taking your previous perception check, and you start, Fenris starts doing these hand motions to start summoning. Darmita gets a bow ready. Everyone else is just freaking out, and Valerie, you just call up and you're like, "It's dead." And you literally just fly in front of the group and call them off. You're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not moving."
Who wants a snack?
It looks like this massive body has basically petrified in this place. The bones, it has rotted, but the exoskeleton, so you can see these large gaps in the exoskeleton. It is essentially part of the landscape, this massive insectine creature that who knows what or where that came from, but it is, you can go check it out in more detail if you want to. It doesn't appear to be moving, but God help you if it does. The thing is probably 75 feet tall.
We'll
Like
keep
the
an
back.
eye on it as we get closer. I'm not trying to assess everything from 400 feet, but
no.
That's the kind of thing I'd be worried has things living inside of it.
That's fair. So everyone else already rolled their perception check, and Darcy wisely held his off. So I'm keeping in mind your nat 20, though, girl.
Got an 8.
All right.
With your 8.
All right.
Oh my god! There's something living in there! And you just look for a little while, and then... Oh. No. That was just dust.
Wind whistling through the holes in its exoskeleton.
And it actually does this weird, eerie sound as the wind. What you'd also notice, Valerie, looking past this thing, you see these massive clouds. And normally it would be rain clouds, but they're just raining ash and cinders just falling from the sky in these twirling, swirling dust storms being kicked up off the plains. You can make out a handful of them between here and the horizon. It should be possible to steer between them. Can I get somebody to helm another... I already know, it's going to be Darmita. Helm another survival check for us.
I will do that.
Oh, and the one Kenku, Chaka, looks over at you and goes, "Whoa." That's it.
15.
All right. All right. Well, you do manage to navigate it. You do manage to kind of skirt past the large fallen insect thing and try to cut off one of the storms and squeeze between them. But you do get a little bit too close to one side of them, and they're moving a little faster than you anticipated. In the natural world, you're like, okay, the wind will stay more or less steady. I can plan to track in front of that. But this is a supernatural kind of landscape. Something must have sped it up. As you're watching this, you see not only these clouds and this dust storm. So I'm going to get everybody to do a Constitution saving throw, please.
Dum 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 dum. 17.
6.
Bela, damn.
24.
26, 24, 17, and 6.
Should we for Lulu?
Yeah, please roll for Lulu. You can go ahead and do that,
If they're
Darmita.
like inside the machine, are they gonna need to make a check?
Good question.
That's true. If you yeah, inside the school, in the other one, there is no real inside. There's a tiny little, but the bigger school bus, the benefit of taking that thing is that it's got a proper inside that you can shelter away inside. So you can you don't have to roll for Lulu. And let's say one of you will be driving the other one for now. All right. So everyone who rolled over a 14 passed. So Henrietta, you're busy on the other infernal machine, the dune buggy like one, and it is after a while.
When I got over there.
Yeah, the ash. Well, actually, you've got your steed. You'd probably be. No, you'd not. Actually, here's what happens. Just there's this sense, this thrum as the walls of this thing, as the wind starts to pick up, start to vibrate and just shake. And after a little while, it's really unnerving. And it's not. You're trying to keep your steed calm. You just walk up. It's all right, girl, or boy.
They're
I'm not
inside.
sure.
Yeah.
And you would probably head inside to keep it calm, and that's fine. But it's not totally impervious. There are holes in the sides, little gaps. So while you're keeping it calm, and it kind of starts a bit at one of the knocks, you go to say it's all right, and you inhale this red hot spark goes right into the back of your throat, and you take 5 points of fire damage. Hell don't like you.
I let out some like smoke, and it's very cartoon fashion. It's very good.
Nice.
There's one spicy meatball.
That absolutely is. All right, so meanwhile, everyone else seems to pass without too much trouble, wrapping, cloaks or something over your face to try and shield yourself from the falling ash. But other than that, it doesn't seem to be doing too much trouble. At one point, one of the sparks does catch a little bit of a kind of cloth, like a tarp covering over part of it. And you have to stamp it out. But other than that, it doesn't give you too much trouble. So you manage to skirt around this. Now, here's the issue. You look ahead, and there are, just like on the maps, as you can see right here near your magic school bus, there are a kind of a string of 3 or 4 storms, all just... And now the one you went through was just a billowing ash. The next ones are just raining meteors and fire, and they are much more intense. So you are going to have to skirt around those. So can I get you to do another survival check for me? And while you're doing that,
I'm surprised it's survival and not like a dexterity based thing. What's this dex?
It's more about plotting and being like, okay, the storm is moving there. We need to make sure we do. Yep. Can I get Fenris to also roll a d10 for me?
17.
Nice. Okay, 17. You're just like, oh, wait, okay. Shh. Okay. You track really fast. Like, okay, this one's moving that fast. This one's not. We've got a 5-minute window. We can try to eke through. So you scoot right in between these 2 storm fronts and come out on the other side. You do end up in like a lesser. Basically what you went through before, but is not worse with a 17 survival check. So I'm going to have to ask everyone else to do another Constitution saving throw.
Another?
As another billowing dust cloud kicks up.
Oh, this time I got nat 1.
Nice. High five.
Yeah.
15.
Ooh, I only got a 12.
You get 2 spicy meatballs.
You said it was worse too, so we might.
This one's not too bad. It's almost the same as what you went through before. The 3 storms that Bela had to navigate you through. Now those were more intense. That would have been a much more higher damage.
Pretty bad.
The DC would have been the same though. So anyone who rolled 14 or higher, which is just Fenris, you're gonna take. I'm gonna say you managed to get through without taking any damage with the shelter from the school bus. But everybody else, sorry, let me rephrase that. Bela and Darmita and Henrietta, now you know what to watch for. You're kind of on guard. You still take some damage, but you end up taking 9 points of fire damage each. And Valerie is on fire.
Flew up.
No. Some of the sparks landed on you and caught in your feathers, and you're like, you slap one of them out, and then your other over here catches. You are literally aflame. You are taking double that in fire damage, so you take 18 points of fire damage, and you are on fire, like D6, until you spend a full round putting yourself out.
All right.
I'm gonna roll a d4 and figure out which one of you was driving that dune buggy machine. Actually, I'll roll a d6.
I don't know who's on the same vehicle as Faluri, unfortunately.
Generally, Faluri has been on the dune buggy, spelling off with Bela, or for Darmita, and the two Kenku. So I'm gonna roll a d6. I'm gonna let Carl go ahead and pick the number that you represent on this d6. I'm just trying to figure out.
With 2.
2. Okay, so if I roll a 2, you're busy driving the dune buggy infernal machine while you were on fire. Let's see. I feel like I should roll this on stream. It came up as a 1. You're on the back of it, just holding on, and you're busy slapping. The other Kenku comes over, and you're just trying to put the fire out, and then your pants catch on fire. And the other Kenku just kind of laughs and says, karma's a bitch, and just whips out and starts pissing all over you to help put you out. So in one round, they do manage to put you out, so you don't take additional fire damage. But that was going to potentially be a crash if you were the driver.
Thank goodness.
Maybe that should be the title of this episode. Karma's a bitch.
It is. It can be. I don't want to call it on, of course. All right. So ahead of you, there's almost this wall of like, as the dust clouds and the ash kind of clears, you can see the plains kind of peter out and off to your left, back towards the direction you were coming from. Not back towards towards the direction you were going. Almost due east by the time you've done all these detours. But where you currently are is sandwiched between these weird, sudden growths of twisted, dense forest. It's almost like as the ash is clearing and the fire and the smoke clears, you see these red-topped, near-petrified forests. There's one almost immediately to your right, and there's another one directly ahead, just south of you. And there's these thickets brushing up, and Lulu comes out, and everybody kind of watches and checks on Faluri and sees him, or sees her on fire, and everybody slows for a second. You all kind of look around, take stock of what's going on, and Lulu says to you, "Oh my! I see you have found the bone brambles. Good. Are we going there? No." So you have found the bone brambles. You can choose to go further in and check that out if you want to. Or you can keep making your way south, kind of out and around them, towards that lake of fire. It's up to you.
I vote out and around towards the lake of fire. Like basically now start heading east and south around the bone brambles. And like I would ask Lulu, like, is there anything, and the others, like Barnabas, like, is there anything worthwhile in the bone brambles? Do they even know? And if not, then forget it.
Just a sec. Let me find that out. And somebody want to roll for the Kenku, and somebody else can roll for the for Barnabas. Just a D20 to see if they know. Just roll a straight D20. We'll see how much they know as denizens of hell. Sure.
Like Kenku has 5.
And Barnabas has 10.
They almost say simultaneously. Yeah. I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing.
Pass. My vote forget these bone bramble death forests and let's make our way to this crypt.
Okay.
As we're getting closer to your destination, is there anything I think maybe we can keep an eye out for? Anything unique that we're looking for?
Go ahead and roll a d6 for me there, Henrietta, as you kind of pull. You're both rattling around in the back of the empty back school bus. Okay, just 1 second. Lulu looks quiet for 1 second and yes, the fate of El Terrell answers in telepathy just because of the noise of the machine. Fate of El Terrell is resting on the brink. If we knew where the contracts were. Contracts. It all comes down to contracts. Yes. Signed. Mortals signing their lives away.
And we'll find out here, you think?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. But we will find what became of the Hell Riders who stayed loyal to Zariel's original mission.
Question about sort of spatial reasoning, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'd like to use locate object when it's relevant, but I'm not sure when it would be.
Sure.
The base version of the spell is 1,000 feet. You previously said you were going to give me a unique version that was longer than that, but I don't really know if I know
think
that
we
or
ended
not,
up
or
swapping that for
Henry
find the
knows
path.
that. We might not have. Yeah, we might have been
we
like,
kinda,
don't worry about it. It's
we kind
normal
of
because
swapped
of the
that for.
Nashida.
You have normal locate object, but you also have find the path, which can find something at a much, much further distance, anywhere on the same plane of existence.
That works. That works for me. So I don't really know what the scale is on this map. It's sort of what I'm basically
very
saying.
morphy. You're not within 1,000 feet of that lake of fire yet. You're probably coming up to within the better part of a couple of miles at this point. Like even a bit further than that. You're probably a couple of hours away.
We're moving?
You are moving. Well, compared to people who are used to traveling by horseback, is usually considered very quick. Wagon is about as fast as you go. Valerie, who flies, this is, about the speed that you fly, maybe as fast as you can go, or maybe even a little faster. These infernal machines tear it up. By the way, sorry, I misspoke. You got 8 hours. So at this point, I don't know who's tracking how many souls coins you have. I think you started with a number of them. Anybody track that?
I imagine that Gordon wrote it down.
Did you write that down?
No,
Gordon?
I mean I know I personally have one.
Okay.
And I think we had 3, to be honest. Like besides the one I have separately, I think they gave us 3.
Okay.
You just found one. Right?
Yeah, that's fair. And all right, so yeah, you guys have 3 plus the one you had already. All right. So at this point, the machines do sputter and start to run out of fuel, and Barnabas signals, "All right, hold up." Grinds the machine and it comes to a shuddering halt, kind of between 2 hills. It seemed a relatively innocent place to stop. He kind of stops the machine for a little bit and pulls out a soul coin, gives a little kiss. "Bird well, my little pretty." Stuffs it in the slot in the machine, and the whole thing just shudders back to life and starts back up again. The Kenku also do about the same over on their machine.
Henry also shudders.
Yes. As soon as you hear that screaming of the souls, I don't know if you could hear that, but that's its sound. As those souls contained within just get eviscerated in the flames. All right, so you are pretty much within striking distance of your destination. So how do you want to approach this? As you come tearing up,
we're going, right? We're just given the Lake of Fire, which is a pretty large area.
It is. So go ahead and do let's do a perception check. It can be anybody or all of you.
Sure.
I think if we're getting close and we're still like moving, I think I will cast locate object.
And what is it you want to find?
Contracts.
Contracts.
I believe. Let me just double check the wording of the spell.
All right.
Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind.
Oh, you're in hell asking for contracts.
Jewelry, furniture, tool,
All right.
or weapon.
So, welcome as you come up and around, and you're just at the base of the hill at this point, definitely within 1,000 feet, and you look up at the top of this hill, and you see, you go ahead and do locate object, and you're just like, where are their souls?
Yeah, and I think it's mostly like channeled through the helmet at this point, because
you know what?
Like permanently prepared because of the helmet now, right?
Sure, I'm gonna let you do an either perception or insight check.
Well, like
with advantage.
On, like, the angelic side and trace the patterns. Yeah, insight or
perception.
I think they're the same.
And you have advantage.
Yeah, they're the same for me. I'll do insight. So they have advantage?
Yep.
19.
19. You concentrate for a few seconds, and there's almost a similar shudder from the angelic side of like, these are that bind souls to hell, to servitude, taken in haste, in desperation, in honor, in fealty. Here they are. And you just get this, bing. There is definitely a contract. Bing. More. There's another one. Bing. And another. Bing. 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 The entire, if you could actually see a glow with these as well, the entire top center section of this hill begins to just be overlapped with ping after ping after ping.
Yeah, so I'm standing on the top of the scavenger. Everyone just sort of sees me like looking up and fixated at the top. It's like
there is you lose count how many contracts are here, soul binding contracts at the top of the crypt of the Hell Riders. That's up for 10 minutes, so as you get closer, you'll get a more detailed look.
Great.
Hey, Tom, while we were driving up there, would I have had a chance to have a short rest between catching on fire and now?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
And everybody else, if you want to take a short rest and spend some hit dice, you had about an hour and a half since that time. So, yes, you can definitely have rested since then.
By the way, on that earlier perception, I got a 19.
Nice. 19. I think that should be a recording. All right, so you can definitely you pick up. Oh, okay. Actually, Bela, I'm gonna read this for you because you took a look in those forests. I don't know if forests are also your preferred terrain. I don't think so. Maybe you spent a lot of time in forests, though.
I'll double check, but just I did it with not earlier because it's a new day. I did the commune.
Sure.
And I failed miserably. I got a 1.
No, that's not going to be...
No.
That's not going to help you out. Oh, so as you were driving, Bela got a good look at the bone brambles. So I'll give you the description off the top.
Forest is.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you definitely catch this. So having driven past these, you're like, there's a forest in hell. I wonder what that's like. That'd be like preferred terrain or favorite terrain doubled. A forest in hell. Yeah, that might be where you build your cottage. Like if you're gonna stay. So I'll read the description for you at least. A maze of warped trees and bone-like vines stretches before you. Calcified corpses merge with the trees, covered in fungal pods that feed on the blood oozing through the undergrowth. Yeah. Here and there, narrow paths wend deeper into the wood. So if you want to head back, that's the bone brambles for you. You got a close enough look to get that. Might be a fun place. So anyway, As you crest up towards the top of your destination, the Crypt of the Hell Riders is in front of you. You hear the mad old map call out, Zariel's fallen companions cannot rest. Nobody can in this nightmare hellscape. Acrid smog swirls around the barren hill, rising from which, like giant tombstones, are a pair of leaning monoliths, each soaring more than 50 feet into the smoky red sky. Before you, ahead of you, on the hill, dozens of armored knights kneel in motionless reverence before the monoliths, between which a set of onyx steps leads down underneath the hill.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what we're looking at here, but it's lousy with contracts. At least the top side is. I'm not sure what's down there.
Strictly speaking, you would have known that the contracts are beneath the hill. A little bit below.
Why'd you say they were at the top? I'm confused.
Sorry, so you're going up a hill, and towards the top you see these monoliths, and then you see these knights all peppered around the outside, kneeling and bowing in reverence. And then you see, kind of at the center, between the monoliths, there's this kind of small rise with a small black gate and steps leading down into the hill itself. And so, though when you first did your ping, you were pretty close to the bottom of the hill, and you could just see bing, 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 on the upper half of the hill is just peppered with contracts. But as you get a little closer, you're like, oh, they're down those stairs.
I say that instead.
All right. Sorry, who got a... Darmita got a 19 on perception as well, and everyone else can kind of get this. So these onyx steps descend down below. For a moment, you're like, whoa, that's a lot of armored knights. And you can see them. But here's the thing. Dozens and dozens of dead knights kneel before the monoliths, their foreheads resting on the pommels of their swords. The knight's armor is their casket. They are still, not breathing, not flinching, and you look at them as you come rattling up and stop the machines, about 100 feet or less away from the top of the hill and these massive monoliths. And the knights do not move at the sound of your approach. And you look at them and you're just like, this is a graveyard, and those are the tombs. It looks like there's a tomb descending further down, catacombs. But these knights and their armor are all dead, locked in their reverence. As you get a bit of a closer look, you can tell that they are, each of these knights, you can see the flapping cloaks. You can even see a couple of standards raised near them and just wedged into the ground next to them. Henrietta, you recognize it at a glance. This is the symbol of old Elturel, bedecked with the old symbol of Pelor, although the Pelor symbol has worn and withered more than even the rest, almost like it was faded a little quicker. But you can make out the old regalia, the faded regalia of Elturel.
As in, like, older generations of the nobility? Okay, not like York to New York kind of thing.
No, this is more, you know how your symbol of Pelor was different?
Yeah,
because it was ages old.
I just wanted to make sure that you didn't mean a different city.
No, this is definitely linked to Elturel. It's essentially their flag.
Right.
But it's the old flag.
I see this, and I'm like...
This would have been the flag of, like,
that's
your grandfather. Or maybe, yeah.
These people are from
years.
Elturel. At least were. Should have been long before it fell. Not entirely sure what to make of that.
Lulu kind of pipes up and says, "Yes, Zariel raised an army. Elturel was a holy city, still was, and now, well, we marched from Elturel under their banner. These are the knights that marched with us into hell. You saw on Harriman's Hill what became of those who fled, and broke their oaths. It looks like they didn't fare all that much better than those who kept their oaths. This is where those who stayed and fought alongside us when the others fled."
So you said the symbol of Pelor is a bit faded. Do I because I actually have a small little collection that I haven't really shown the others, but it includes the feminine version one.
Yeah.
Do I recognize that amongst them or not?
Do a perception check for me.
Sure.
Or investigation if you want to walk amongst the knights.
No, just perception's fine.
The machines are, like, you've got that echoing sound in your ears of, like,
22.
sudden silence. 22, nice. You look amongst them and you see the Eye of Pelor symbol mixed in with a few of the old symbol just prior. This would have been, you gather that this would have happened where certain newer ranks would have adopted the newer adapted Eye of Pelor version of that symbol, and some of these do have that, and a few of them have the old symbol, and the old symbol has faded, perhaps even been defouled a little bit. But the Eye of Pelor symbol is still here, and absolutely nowhere is this symbol of the feminine Eye of Pelor, the acknowledgement of. Did I ever tell you where that came from or any history about that? I don't remember. That was only 30-something episodes ago.
Well, that was probably like episode 1 or 2.
Only 37 episodes
like, I think
ago.
it's like episode 2 where
Was that 2 years?
That's what Henrietta was guarding in the chest.
It is. And
so no, you didn't tell me anything.
and
more
you
about it
did
except
not
that
ever
there's-
even reveal that to her. She didn't even know that was what's in there.
I don't think so, no.
No, she didn't.
You did find someone else that you asked about it who recognized it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, and I just understand like the history behind it. Like, what does it mean? It's a feminine version.
Okay, so go ahead and roll, I guess, religion check retroactively. I don't know if you remember what I told you then. We'll see if you do. Go ahead and roll religion.
Okay.
But you're more of an Arcana guy. When people start talking religion, you just kind of hear
Yeah.
womp 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 womp.
16.
Okay, you
bad.
paid close enough attention to pick up some of the details. Apparently, there was a time period, probably about 50 years ago, something like that. A little timey-wimey. That was the part you kind of womp-womped over. But there was a time period before there was the really old symbol of Pelor. And that one is is represented here a tiny bit. And then you see the new Eye of Pelor symbol, which you're not a big fan of. And then you see that there's a very narrow band of timeline where there was like a feminine acknowledgement of the Eye of Pelor. And that
The eye?
had... I'm sorry?
The Eye of Pelor? Or
No. The Eye of Pelor came after.
I know, but you just said on the eye, so I was.
Oh, sorry. So it's like this narrow band. It was almost like a commemorative plaque. It's like one of those coins they print to acknowledge.
Centennial coin.
Yeah, it's like a centennial coin, and it was acknowledging the vessel of Pelor, and it was the one who volunteered, the one who came forth and was bestowed the power of Pelor, the blessing of Pelor, in order to stop a cataclysmic event. Let's say about 30, 40 years ago. I'm being a little weird with my time, but I think that was about right.
Got it. Okay.
And with a 16, you know that it was someone who was granted the vestments of Pelor as a blessing to stop. 16 you probably would get. The ascension of a new attempted god. So they tried to become a god, and it didn't work out. And these heroes arose from the mortal realm who were given these boons, these blessings from the gods. You don't remember all of them, but because you talked to this person, you remember that it was Peller's apparently blessed someone, and it was this woman. And you don't really remember any of the details around that with the 16, but you do remember that he blessed this woman, and in his acknowledgement, she got a centennial coin, essentially.
Okay. Oh, it was such a weird mashup.
Oh yeah, we're mashing Forgotten Realms and like Exandria and like all of them. We're in hell. They're all just different versions of the material plane. Yeah, it's a mashup and an homage for those who are paying close attention, or not that close, because I mean honestly, I'm about as subtle as a brick. All right, so you guys are stopped at the base of the hill. Are you going to ascend, or kind of a little ways up the hill? Are you going to go on in? You going to stay out? What do you want to do?
I'll lead.
Well, we've gone this far, so yeah, I'm gonna get ready to go and check it out with the others.
So you ascend.
Barnabas, you want to watch the vehicles?
Oh God, yeah, I'm not going in there.
All right. I like pat where I have the map in case I need that though. We have that movie shot where we confirm to the audience that I have it on me.
Yeah, you just make sure you've got your map. All right, and the mad cartographer mumbles as you approach. No, but really, and then you stuff them in your pack. All right. Anything else? Anyone else doing before we go on in? You take a sip of water that turns to ash in your mouth. It is sustaining, but it is not pleasant.
And I assume it's dark down there, right?
Probably. It is a crypt. All right.
Well.
Okay.
I believe I do know light. Let me just double check my notes.
One thing I am going to do is just take a look at the blankie again. Maybe spend a plot point as I recall how, at the mention of the dream hag Nigella, how Mad Maggie had touched it, and I almost felt like she was mending it. I'm just looking at it again.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
And when I hear that when I notice that it's dark, I'll look at Henrietta and just kind of reach over to her shield and say, "Do you want some light?"
If you'd like, I can supply my own, but sure. Show me what you can do.
And I just touch her shield and...
This is a bit of a surprise. I don't think you've ever done this before. And you just... It starts with, as you rub your hand down, it starts almost as this greenish phosphorescent glow. The kind of glow that certain mosses can give. And after a while, that glow kind of increases. It's not as brilliant as the radiant light.
Her light comes from her celestial origin, not from her ranger.
That's true, but it's tainted by ranger. No, anyway, by fallen. So your shield is now a light with a slightly greenish glow. Not quite. I mean, you can make it whatever color you want. I just say green.
Roll a 16, by the way.
All right. So you're holding this thing, and you're just kind of concentrating on it. You're skimming through the words, and some of the symbols seem annoyingly elusively familiar. As you're looking at this little blankie that you pulled from the dream realm, and you're looking at it, and it is your handwriting. You wrote this as a child, and you're trying to remember you're missing a third of it, the last third. Trying to piece together what this is, and you're staring at this, and some of the symbols, you've seen them more recently, and you're trying to place them. And just for a second, since you spent a plot point, you get this little flicker of like, wait. When you were at the Waygate, and that you were popping those scarred stones, it was in the middle of the battle, and you were popping those scarred stones that have been ripped out by an angelic blade, which you now know is Nishida's blade, had slashed across and popped these little stones, these little stones that were central to the functioning of these Waygates. You remember, okay, that symbol. Oh, and that one. Those were etched in between some of those stone points on those pillars that would rotate around, that you could then select a different destination. You don't know what they mean off the top of your head, but you do manage to recall where you saw them last, and it was on those Waygates.
Okay, that's some type of clue if we ever make our way back there.
But I mean, they might not be exclusive to the Waygate, but that was the most recent time you've seen such a thing.
Yeah, or if I find another Waygate. Okay.
Find another Waygate. All right. Now, you descend into the crypt, into the catacombs beneath the Crypt of the Hell Riders. This motionless knights entombed above, inside their armor. These were the knights the Hell Riders who died fighting at Zariel's side. And the old man mutters as he descends. Their restless spirits are here doomed to haunt this place.
We'll see if we can help them.
You descend down below. You don't get very far, unfortunately. You go down these steps very dramatically, and then boom, a pair of basalt doors block the passage ahead. Their surface engraved with the relief of a knight locked in combat with a devil. Both of them wield burning swords. These stones, the gate seems, there's no visible door handles, locks, bolts, or hinges. They sit in front of you. What do? You stand at slightly subterranean. You've gone down about 10 or 15 feet into the hill, and then there's these stone gates in front of you.
I'll put a hand on it and see if I can feel any resistance. If they push in, the hinges should be on the other side anyway.
There's significant. They do not move, and you get the sense of it's almost like touching a solid stone. It's just like, nope, not gonna move for you.
Okay.
What else do you want to do? Anybody?
I'm
going to investigate it.
Noted,
see if
Darcy.
there's anything
Come back
magic
in a second.
related to it.
Sure, go ahead and roll Arcana. Or are you going to roll Detect Magic or cast it? Or
I don't have to detect. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. What did I learn?
Did you pick it up?
No. It's
sorcerers don't have spells to spend on such nonsense.
Yeah, I know
Wow.
exactly. Like, what are you getting at?
I know I'm the utility caster. I have to take magic.
No, I have knock.
Ooh.
You do have knock. You are the gate opener.
And arcane knock too, but so
Go ahead and roll Arcana for me. What'd you do?
Yeah, like I want to roll Arcana to see if this is like a door, an actual, like if it's not.
I mean,
if
it
it's a wall,
looks
then
like a
there's no
door.
point.
It definitely it appears to be a door. There's just no handles, no locks, no bolts. It's just solidly sealed and isn't budging when you go to push it.
Okay, I mean, I'll roll a kind of check first, but I think I'm probably gonna roll knock, like whatever. 14.
There are magical runes inscribed on the side, but some of them are more religious than arcane. But it definitely appears to be some kind of enchantment is placed on this door, and you can't really, you get the nature of it is essentially abjuration, but you don't know exactly the means by which this was held shut.
I'll relay that to everyone else. That
Cool.
there are magical runes and
I love that casting detect magic here is just completely useless. It's like, yeah, you already learned everything that spell will tell you.
Well, you can tell basically by the runes etched in it that it's some kind of locking system.
Sure.
So you're gonna roll. Are you gonna cast knock?
Well, I'm gonna tell them first. Like, I'm gonna say, hey, that's what it is. Does anyone else have a better idea? Otherwise, I kind of picked up a spell.
Yeah, well, you were like inspecting the runes. Hen had started singing a soft hymn, and you mention, you confirm that there is some form of enchantment on it, and you hear her pitch like slightly change, and I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic instead.
All right then.
Okay.
Which might be terrible. It's like, yeah, it's locked permanently now.
I'm gonna need you to roll a d20 for me and add your.
Let me just
magic.
take a look at what, like.
Yeah,
there's no way we
add
can
your
find
ability.
what level this is at. So yeah, I'll just cast it raw.
You're gonna have to roll for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I will get you to do something else for me though.
Is this just a raw charisma check, or is it the same as if I cast a spell?
It's the same as if you cast a spell.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's. I might need to look that up.
I'm just gonna roll raw, and we can add proficiency if we want to.
I don't remember if we had proficiency or not for this kind of thing. I think it might just be the straight up spellcasting ability.
I think it's just the ability.
Yeah, so it's just the ability.
Bonus. So that's 13.
Okay.
Just not much.
It is not super high. What I will ask you to do, because you were very specific that you're singing a hymn, go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
Well, I love a D100. Do. 96.
Interesting things happen in the
It's going to be my highest roll for a long time.
What would you say are the most common themes of a Peller kind of paladin type hymn?
Let Peller's light guide us to our most perfect future, something like that.
Okay, so as you're starting to sing that one, that was the first one you started to sing. And it's almost, and you're bardic training, because you're more bard than paladin. And the notes just sound a little sour and empty in this hollow space beneath the ground. And something about this place just calls out to you, and it's just like, this was not meant as a place of light.
No.
Try again. Not the spell. If you want to, you mentioned your pitch and your tone changed.
Right.
So what else might a paladin of Pelor sing about? Or what other hymns might you know? So that it's not about the light of Pelor, or but there are other things that other hymns may yet hold the key to this.
Yeah, I don't think I, the player, know enough stuff about Pelor, unfortunately.
You know that it's semi-militaristic.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're basically standing at a tomb of these knights who tried their best to uphold this faith, to bring the fight to the demons in hell.
Cleanse evil, something like that.
Yeah.
So you start to sing about.
Yeah, I think we have like the time this takes. If Fenris is like, "What are you doing? I'm going to cast a spell." Feel free.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
you're kind of kneeling and singing different songs.
The
kind of
hymns
get,
are very.
Some of them feel almost right, and with a
ritualistic,
96, there's a slight echo from the helm that you're wearing that gives you a clue. Facing the light, facing the dark, The mortal night brings courage. That is not why. They do not fight for courage. They resist the fear to bring the glory of Pelo below.
Okay. Think on this.
I'm going to let you roll your Dispel Magic with advantage. I don't know if that was baked into that roll.
I mean, it was if you wanted to take it instead, but I'll re-roll it.
Yeah, go ahead and re-roll. Knowing your luck, it's not going to help. I mean, come on.
24.
Very nice.
And I'm focusing on, this idea of not just courage, but withstanding fear, I guess, which I mean might be the same thing, but there's a semantic difference. And I do my best to avoid this idea of like the militaristic angle. Like, I don't believe in that as
Henrietta doesn't
right?
believe in it.
It's
But the knights who are
notion
entombed here
that
definitely did.
you can drive out the darkness without destroying it. You can redeem. You can, use the light you can show people the light. And you can bring light to people. And you're saying I should be avoiding the light concept, but I mean, Peller's
No,
like
no,
the sun.
that's all tied in, absolutely.
Yeah.
As you're sitting there kneeling in the dark, I mean, your shield is illuminating all those around. The rest of you are kind of poking and prodding at the gate, and it's definitely standing in your way. For a while, Henrietta's kneeling there, and that voice from the helm, that connection to that celestial being, a voice speaks to you in the darkness. So much so, it's actually almost jarring. And you kind of almost expect something to have arrived, but it's right next to you, and it whispers next to your head, and it says, I see you kneeling in the dark, Henrietta. Why are you here, in the depths of hell? What do you seek?
I'm only here to protect people, save people from something they didn't deserve, and redeem those who may have deserved it.
Do you seek your own honor? Why do you seek to redeem those? Do you want them to honor you, worship you?
No. I've sworn an oath, and it doesn't matter who you are. You deserve just as much from me as anyone else. And when I make a promise, I intend to keep it.
For glory.
For devotion.
For glory. They did it for glory. It is good you do not. And the voice fades away.
I start crying. I'm kneeling on the floor and I start crying.
Does anyone
I assume we noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Darmita looks perplexed a little bit. Like,
Yeah, it's not like loud sobs or anything.
Mm.
It's really sort of a dry cry. That's not a real thing. I don't know.
A quiet, stoic kind of.
Yeah, just tracks down the cheeks. Yeah. Does anything happen?
Not currently. Fenris, you what was your Arcana check when you were checking this out, or did you do one? Yeah, you did one. What was it?
I did. I believe it was either a 16 or a 14.
I think it was the whichever it is. That's high enough to realize these types of gates. I mean, you could try a magic. The dispel magic that Henrietta didn't work. You can try something else, but in reading the runes, you get that there's some kind of there's a passphrase. There's got to be some kind of like it's almost like it's a little bit like the movie, you know, speak friend and enter, but it's the friend is left out, so you don't know what the passphrase is. You can read Celestial, can you?
Nope.
Can anyone else read Celestial?
Henry, I think Henrietta can, and I'm pretty sure Darmita can.
Okay, so while Henrietta's been kneeling and praying, Darmita, you've been waiting and you've been looking around and taking a good look. Can you do an investigation check for me?
Mm-hmm.
And I will mention to the others that, you know, this door, just straight magic may not work. There's some type of ritual or phrase to open it.
18.
So Darmita, you see these glyphs, and some of them are written in Infernal, which you also speak, and some of them are written in Celestial. And essentially the Infernal part says, bound in this place, contracts and blood. They came here, and here they are bound. And then the last section, that they came here, and here they are bound. The reason is theirs. The reason. And that's what you've got from the runes written on the side. You get the impression it's... Well, go ahead.
I would imagine as I'm looking at this and kind of deciphering, I'm saying it out loud.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I forget exactly my wording because I have the memory of a darn goldfish. But basically is, here they are bound by the reason they came.
15-minute warning, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, got that.
Wow.
Actually, it's strictly speaking, it says bound by the reason they came.
Yeah, so are you're reading this aloud?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, okay. So I'll see Henrietta sort of slowly, from one knee, get 1 foot under her, lift herself up. Just look at this door and say, as clearly as she can, for glory, open the way.
Center crack down the door. And the whole thing just shudders and dust falls from the ceiling. The stone slowly grinds backwards. It opens about a few inches, and then with putting your back into it, the rest of you manage to wrest it open. The tomb open in front of you. Halls that have probably not been walked in decades. Go ahead.
So, as it opens, May I do a cast Primeval?
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And I'm gonna do it
Mhm.
at level. I'm gonna use a second level spell slot.
All right. So as it opens up, your brain kind of tracks all of these little marks, any footprints that anyone else might miss, uh, scratch marks, scents, and you just extend your senses, and it's into this almost beyond like a sixth sense level of like what lies before us. And do me a favor and remind me all the things you get associated with that. It's
I'll post it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's in
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop.
bloop bloop.
Give me 2 seconds.
You definitely get the sense of undead. You just hear this.
Okay.
I'm just wondering what else you managed to pick up from that.
Pretty much all my normals, like. So
Okay.
fiend.
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and
pretty much
undead.
everything.
So all the things. You get all the things. So in front of you.
Normal, not beasts, not humanoids, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And the way you've done it in the past is it pings kind of a different aura.
Yeah, it pings a different
what it
feel.
is.
And so you get that sensation. And below you a little bit and out and around as you've already descended into this hill. And it was partly not quite at the crest of the hill. So as it descended 15 feet down, you're probably about good 30 feet below the surface of the top of the hill, maybe even more. And the pathway in front of you, there's this hall extending a little ways, probably about 10 or 15 feet. Worked stone, and the floor is thick with dust. But here and there are little tiny trails that are hard to pinpoint, not footprints exactly. And when you do your primeval awareness, you get this ping of like,
here we rest. What you called us here, and we wait. Our fate is signed and sealed.
And you get this ping, bloop, 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 both sides as you reach this intersection, a T junction, as the hallway spreads in both ways, and you get from both angles probably a good somewhere between 30 and 40 feet away on both sides. And further deeper into the stone, behind the stonework, it's a little blurrier, but you get an idea that there is more concentrated undeath, a little bit more concentrated off to your left, but there is some to your right as well. And that lasts for some time, if I remember.
Yeah, I get 6 miles.
Oh yeah, this whole hill is a crypt, and there are lots of undead in here. I will give you this as part of it. It's undeath awaiting. It's not active in the sense like it's not going to be up and wandering around. It is long dormant, decades.
Here we rest. 30, 40, who knows? Here we wait. To call again.
Am I still getting direction sense stuff going on, or is it just everywhere? Contrast.
Actually, you've got a pretty solid flip on it now that the door is open. That seemed to be blocking it somewhat. Most direct path to kind of a larger section of those is ahead and left. Kind of the left path is slightly more undead, is what Darmita gets, and slightly more likely to lead you to those contracts that you are sensing. It's probably been 10 minutes though, so
It's fading.
Yeah, it's starting to fade, but you do get the impression it's probably as the crow flies close to 100 feet, maybe 120 feet, maybe 150 feet off on a 45-degree angle off to your left, which is straight into the wall, but you get the impression that the left branch will lead you that way.
Great. I think we get a cool, like, everyone's framed in this door shot. And do you want to cut to black there?
Yeah, I think we are going to stop here. So, well, you are standing looking at this underground path stretched out before you, and you have entered into the crypt of the Hell Riders. Their fate, their intention is unknown, and yet you are drawn here. Those who came to El Terrell, entombed, imprisoned, bound by contract. And we will find out more next time.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, thanks very much, everybody. And we're finally on time for a change. What? All right, we do need an episode title, though. So if anybody wants to, either the players can make a suggestion or the viewers can make a suggestion. We always love to hear suggestions about our episode titles. So feel free to type those in chat. Thanks very much, everybody, for jumping back into Dungeons & Dragons. It's funny, I missed this last week, but I just needed a bit more time to prep it, because it's a little more prep than just making up a Shadowrun on the fly. By the way, I do have Shadowrun episodes that I'm going to put out. I just haven't, we did the live one, but I'll put them out on the podcast pretty soon. All right, Internet, we definitely need a name for this episode, or players. I'm happy to hear from any of y'all. What do you think? Thanks for joining us, by the way.
Oh, Faluri is freaking thrilled at being back into confined spaces again. It's awesome.
Actually, I'm so glad you said that. In fact, for a moment at the end, I know Gordon's got to go, but stick around for a few minutes at the end, if you can, Carl, because we're going to do a little over to Faluri for a moment. Just at the end. It's going to be your little end of the Marvel Universe kind of thing at the end of the credits.
No, hey, no problem, man. I just didn't want to interrupt anything that everybody else was saying. Was
I'm
so well.
Real glad you brought that back up. And Darcy,
I love an after the credits scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Darcy, thank you for actually, like, it's in the book. For Glory is the opening. Now, I kind of gave that to you somewhat.
You gave it to me. Yeah,
I did, but I didn't.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It felt good. I feel like I didn't have to, like, feed it to you.
No, I liked it. I think it was
really dovetailed nicely with the helm. All right, Internet, we definitely need a name. Or you guys. Oh, here we go.
Said. Name of episode: Pit Stop and Road Beers. Sorry, still a bit groggy from dental surgery today.
I like it. I would add one little caveat, though, if you don't mind. What about
Bela McPherson said, I hope you
are feeling better, I'm guessing that they're gonna say. Yeah, I hope
Bela
you're feeling...
McPherson.
Yeah, there it is.
Said,
Soon.
Re-feeling better.
Absolutely. So thank you, Yaofan, and everybody else who's tuning in, either live or not. Name of the episode, I think there's something about hell and pit. I feel like that should be just a little more hell pit.
Yofin said, Yofin dog.
Absolutely. So feel better soon, Yaofan, and we'll get you back in the shadows with a Shadowrun fairly soon too. So pit stop and road beers. I kind of like that. I like that. Crypt stop and I don't know. I think I like it. All right, thanks.
It's actually pretty
Stop
funny.
and roadies.
Which one? Sorry, what was that, Darcy?
I said Crypt stop is pretty funny.
Crypt
I don't know if
stop.
anyone would get it without context, though.
Yeah, that's all right. They don't have to get it. Crypt Stop and Road Beers. I think that'll be the episode name. All right, so hopefully we'll be back next week, pending all the craziness and busyness that is life. And I'm just thankful I get to play with you guys on a regular basis. And it breaks up the monotony of these four walls. All right, I think we'll sign off there. Thanks very much, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family and others.
Said, Crypt Stop, Hell Beer and Flames oh my. Sarah Fabriel said, Nini.
Night. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll be back every Thursday, and you can also check this out on after all that stuff. Bye. Take care. And if you want to stick around for our after credits, we'll be doing that in a moment too. You've been listening to SideQuest Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons & Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the games. Dungeons & Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games. And again, we are not affiliated with them, and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game, and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. All right, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon.
The Cantrip Cast said, "Oh god damn it," right at the end. Side Quests Live said, "That's all good. Thanks for coming anyway, plus 25 XP for you." Bella McPherson said, "We still have the after credits."
Let's do it.
Let's do this. All right, this is...
Thanks for sticking around. We're gonna do a little cut back to as the crypt opens.
Let's begin. Boom. Hi, everybody. Little sneak after show here. Valerie, you very kindly mentioned. Now the other guys are welcome to watch. So as they're busy trying to pick away at the tomb, pick away at this door, Henrietta's kneeling and like humming these songs over and over again. The walls are just reverberating with the sound of her quiet hymns. The drip, drip, drip of the being underground, this moist air and the walls closing in around you as you're standing. The open sky is just 15 feet behind you. I'm gonna ask you to do a wisdom saving throw for me, please, sir.
Aren't you glad we stuck around for this?
20.
Damn, sir. All right, you fight down that you fight down that instinct to just flee. You break out in this cold sweat beneath your feathers, and you're just kind of like, okay. Aarakocra, in the best of times, do not like to be enclosed. But you, sir, you suddenly get this gnawing, nauseous feeling in the back of your throat, this parched feeling. And the back of your tongue just itches with the dust of these tombs. And not just these tombs, the tunnels. Walking. And you close your eyes and you can hear Fenris and you can hear Darmita, and they're mumbling something about the words they're translating, and Henrietta, they're talking, but it echoes behind you. And for a moment, all of that is lost just with this flash of a memory. Walking and walking and walking. Your feet sore, your wings just aching to be opened and used. And yet, you can't. You're enclosed, the stone walls crushing around you. And for a moment, you're back there. You're back in that place. The dark, crushing sense of stone around you as you're walking beneath these halls of hell, these tunnels, for years. Sipping moisture from walls, your bird-like tongue just scratching, your wings aching. Whenever you can, you turn sideways in the tunnel. And other times you spend hiding, battling demons, battling devils. The tombs beneath, where much, much later on you would run into these adventurers, these people, visitors from a place called El Terrell. Foreign to you, and yet not fiendish. And now you find yourself back in that space. You've spent... Go ahead and roll 2d10 for me.
That was like the scariest like meditation voice ever.
And now you panic.
2d10. 10 and a 4.
You spent... Let me put it this way. You held desperately onto that memory of before you took this mission, before you followed, before you made that choice to hunt the being that crippled your friend, killed your other friend, brought you here. There's a gap, and there's time, and step, step, step. These halls just echoing around you, closing in. You begin to go mad. Beneath the halls of hell, away, locked away from the sky. This was your hellish punishment for breaking your deal 14 years before. You only now actually piece together how long it was that you wandered. How long it was since you were last on the plane of air, soaring amongst your brethren, other monks like yourself. You only know that one thing in all of that. Well, now you know how long it's been. You know the one thing that forced you down here, forced you into your own worst nightmare. The name of the creature, Sarnia. And with every step, you could practically hear her laughter. Sure. Chase me. But you won't like where I go. You've been here a little longer than initially thought. All right. What do you want to...
You do know that, Aarakocra lifespans are not that high, right? So when you say 14 years, I'm probably dead.
You've been here a while. 14 Aarakocra years. The sun makes different movements on the plane of air. Not the airplane, the plane of air. But you've been here... I mean, it's hard to tell how long, but out of a guess, it would be the equivalent of a very long-ass time wandering in your own private hell.
As we're going down, I hear this cackling voice. Feeling all claustrophobic, a little paranoid. Obviously the environment is changing the way I'm thinking. Having these memories flood my mind, from back in the monastery. Starting to piece together that, Sarnia's involvement not only in the theft of a valuable relic important to our monastery, but having that inkling that she had something to do, whether directly or through influence, that resulted in the death of my closest friend, and then the maiming, crippling of my other. So obviously, this reinvigorates her in regards to wanting to get out of here and to find the one responsible for their deaths, for the theft. Not saying that her patience is wearing thin with the current events, but the sense of urgency is definitely coming back.
Like an itch in the back of your mind.
That's correct.
And you have one thing going for you. Having spent so long enclosed and being punished for your previous... You don't even remember what. There's one good thing going for you. You've been in hell. What else can they throw at you?
Exactly.
All right. And with that, I think we're going to stop for the night. I hope that was worth sticking around for a little bit more about your bird person.
Your bird friend.
Your birdie friend. Who I would like to point out, the party was like, hey, come on in. Everyone else, they're like, murder. And I appreciate that, social contract and gamers and stuff. But this very surprisingly happy-go-lucky Aarakocra's got some dark just below.
That is correct.
All right. Well, thanks very much for sticking around for the after credits, and thanks, guys, for keeping us company. We might do a table talk after, but I'm not going to bother streaming that right now. Thanks very much. We'll be back in about a week, probably next Thursday, even, either for a Shadowrun.
A little bit less than a week, 2-3 hours less than a week.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what that is in hours. All right, in total. 7 days and hours. Quick.
In Aarakocra hours? Yeah.
In Aarakocra hours, they count real fast.
You muted Bela.
It's just so you know,
She's
I'm
been
like
talking
probably
the
3
whole
years
time.
old, right?
Actually, reminder, next week is the 21st.
Oh, right. So we actually might do a Shadowrun instead or something, because Bela can't be here, and I don't want to miss that.
Well, I can be here,
this
but
is a big place for you.
Yeah, I have to beg out at about 10 to midnight, I guess.
Okay. Well, we might be able to squeeze in a stream, but I don't want to. We'll figure that out. We can do that. Yeah. But yeah, if you have to bail early or anything, we can turn it into a Shadowrun instead, or we can keep this going. I don't want you to miss the Crypt of the Hellriders. It's a big deal for Darmita. So
yeah, understandable.
So we will return next week with more dice and rolling and criticals. We had an almost balance of crit fails compared to crits, so it loves us. All right, everybody. Good night. Thanks for coming.